Okay, now that you've successfully scanned your image, we want to clean it up in Photoshop using Photoshop's simple cleanup tools. So a couple of ways to do that would be to find the file and right-click, open with, and then open Photoshop. That's one way. Second way is if you've already got Photoshop open, which I have, just go to the software and open File. In this case, I'll go to my desktop and click on Scan Test. And there's my file. So what we want to do in this case is kind of remove that background color. As you can see here, my background has got a kind of a yellow cast, and I want to remove that and make it whitish. So what I'll do there is I will just use the click on Z for Zoom tool and zoom in a little bit there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to brighten the background. So to do that, I'm going to use levels. So let's go up to Image, Adjustments, Levels. And in this case, I'm going to click on this little right-hand eyedropper here, which is the 0 point. Now, wherever I touch this now, it's going to turn that point to 0 and make everything that's got more value in it than that point brighter than 0, or not brighter, have more image information. So the more you do it, you'll see that depending on which part you touch, it'll cause it to go to 0, and everything else will remain darker than 0. So simply by, I'll just do that again for you, simply by clicking on that yellowish background, I'll convert it to white. And that's it. That's a really good way to clean up a kind of messy paper background. You can of course do a number of other things at this point. I could adjust my contrast, go up to Image, Adjustments, and go down to Auto Contrast, or I could go to Image Adjustments and go across to Brightness Contrast. And here you can simply adjust brightness and contrast. I'm going to cancel out of that though because I quite like what I've got. You can of course adjust saturation, Image Adjustments, Hue Saturation, and in here I can adjust the overall hue or just the saturation itself. In fact, you can of course take it back to black and white if you wish. So there's a number of things you can do there quite simply and quickly. I'm going to cancel that because I'm happy with the colour for the most part. Something else you might wish to try is just to erase any messy section. So again, zooming in down here, I can see I've got a couple of bits that I might not be happy with. So I'll get the erasing tool out. Now if I click Eraser tool now, you'll see it's going to just delete anything that I don't want. And that's pretty good. If you go over to layers on your right, you'll see that it's all working on the one layer. What you could do to make sure you don't damage your master scan file is to create a copy of that. So going to layers, double clicking on the background layer and hitting OK, that will unlock the layer. Then you simply click and drag that layer down and it will copy it, and then you can turn off one of those layers and it will always be there unless you flatten the image. And now we can adjust, let's say, the top part of it. Do an erase here, you'll see that's gone, but if I turn on the background, you'll see that the background is intact. So that's pretty handy. So I'll just undo that, Command Z, and notice that everything is looking pretty good. Best way to save it as a new file type is to go up to File, go to Save As, and in my case, I'll put it alongside the other one. So here on my desktop, I'll just go down to Format here and I'll change it to JPEG and hit Save. And I'll keep a quality setting of 10 and hit OK. Now, I'm still looking at the original TIFF file type, but if I open and go to my desktop, I can see the TIFF and the JPEG. The JPEG is about half a kilobyte and the TIFF is 5.5 megabytes, so it's a much smaller file size.